Matthew. Hey, congratulations on your new film, The Dirty South.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, so it's terrific. It's very telling a story about the South, in small towns and so on. But where the original idea came from for you?
The original idea actually started with the characters. My father passed away 2017. I started writing kind of right after this, but I was listening to his music, a lot of the 1960s songs, and Dion DiMucci sang two songs, Run Around Sue and The Wonder. And Run Around Sue is about this girl that breaks every guy's heart. And I asked myself, it's like, why does a girl break every guy's heart? Well, it's because she doesn't have time. Anytime this a woman doesn't have time for a man, he wants her even more. And so that happens multiple times in the film. And then there's a wanderer who roams from town to town in his beloved car, and he's got two fists of iron. He's just a total ladies' man. And I guess the question is, what makes him a wanderer? Why is he always on the run? Which is, in the film, but it was just important. Like, it was just a real fun question to think. It's like, you have the woman that she breaks every guy's heart, and then the guy that can get any woman he wants. Why? Let's let him meet.
All that from two songs. Wow.
Yeah, it is. That's where it began, and from there, my mentor told me to write what I can produce and write what I know. And I know small town Louisiana. And I wrote every location because I knew the owners of every place I wanted to shoot.
Yeah, I mean, when I was watching this film, one of the things and thoughts in my head was like going, "Wow, this guy knows his soundtracks. It's a great selection of music in
Thank
this."
you. Yeah, that's the cool thing. Tyler Forrest and he was the composer of the film. We locked ourselves in a cabin for about 2 weeks, and we created every song outside of two songs in the film. And I just knew that I wanted a very Southern rock, very Black Keys feel, just, to show that it was a little raunchy, a little dirty, but still it's taking you for a ride.
Now, of course, obviously the characters are very paramount in your film, but it tells a story of the small town culture, and sort of the struggles per se, because a lot of people tend to forget, these small towns in these rural areas have very pockets of poverty and life struggles.
Very much so. A lot of rural South they don't have a middle class. There is a lower class and an upper class, and the lower class always works for the upper class, and they don't mingle. That when they go home from work every day, like, they go to this side, they go to this side. And I just wanted to show stories that, on the lower side, on the lower end of that, where I found myself more than once, being an artist. And it's you will realize that people will work together. Really, they'll just work together to accomplish anything. And we do see a lot of that from the lower income. And the team, the love they have, it's always much more of a magical ride.
Wonderful. Now, tell us about the town that this is all set in. Was it Natchitoches? Is
It's
that
called Natchitoches. It's actually called Natchitoches. It's where Still Magnolias was filmed.
okay?
And it's just such a stunning town. It's beautiful. There's a river that runs right through it. And I played baseball in this town in college. I worked at the bar that we shot at. I was on that river a lot of my life.
I was going to say, I think I remember watching Steel Magnolias, but you didn't showcase, you didn't want to showcase the beautiful downtown of that beautiful location.
Exactly. Uh, Only one time when they're driving, I wanted to show the Christmas lights, but it's rolling across the hood of her car. But this was a different part of, this wasn't Still Magnolias. I wasn't showing the rich family. I was showing the dirty South. I wanted to show that, the rugged beauty of the South. The places that nobody else points, but it is like there's so much beauty in the South, but and I'm telling you, most of it is not inside the town.
And the folks helped you out, including the bar right by, I want to say by, it was a lake, right?
It's technically a lake. It's called Cane River Lake just because it's a river that's dammed at both ends now. But everybody helped me out. Debbie Walker like gave us the marina for free to shoot at. That was her trailer on top of the hill, and there were so many people. You know, 3 days before we started shooting, the weather dropped to like 29 degrees, and we had people bringing us heaters, face masks, blankets. We had somebody deliver a tractor within 30 minutes when we needed it, and somebody delivered a 300-pound hog. If anything that we needed, it was a phone call away, and people were so willing to help.
That is amazing, and because this is your first featured directorial debut for a film with the Dirty South, and the whole community came out for you. I mean, that is also like a testament to the Southern culture.
It truly is. I feel like I've lived a lot of this story of this film of just, you know, they I'm so lucky to be where I'm from because, that's one of the greatest things I've learned through this project was that how much people from where I'm from want me to succeed. It's tough to ask for anything, but I've learned is like, it's just what you got to do. But when you ask, people are there willing to help, especially where I'm from.
So then remark on how you got such a wonderful cast, Willa, Shane, Dermot. I mean, they're not from your town, but they had to
Yes,
converge into your town to participate in your film.
it was incredible. I wrote this in 2017, and we just kept putting out offers until we found our perfect cast. And Shane West was definitely a Dion that I wrote. It's the first time that I watched Shane. I knew there's like his brooding, presence, and he has just such a charisma about him that he could kill this role. But and he brought a tenderness with it too that I never expected, but I absolutely love it. Dermot, I kept rewriting this character and rewriting this character until one day is like whenever we sent out to Dermot's, they got right back to us. Like he really loved it on set. He asked me how I got my swamp western funded. It just was. He said that he loved how simple the script was and he loved the dialogue. Willa the same. Willa had a very good connection with it, and we brought Willa on 1 week before we started shooting, and she only had the script in her hands for 7 days, and she delivered a once in a lifetime performance.
Wow, that is awesome. Well, Matthew, let me leave it with one last thought. Tell us about that car.
That car, man. That is a 1970 Chevy Chevelle, and man, it's just incredible. A guy named Von Dykes allowed me to use this car for free. I saw it in a car show in Natchitoches, and in the script I had the car painted red, but this was way, way better than I could have ever imagined, having this beautiful teal color, but it was so loud. And what we realized, it was so light. And we had to be very careful with, even stunt drivers. We tell them like, hey, this thing's light. It can get out of control really quick. But one of the things that I learned from using an old car is that old cars don't start when it's cold. In the morning time, there was a few times we got pushed back an hour or two because we just couldn't get the car to start. We had to keep calling the owner out there. It's like, hey man, we don't know what to do. Will you please help us? But overall, like we got everything I got everything that I wanted with it. I will say is that it was one of the most incredible cars I've ever sat in.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. It didn't really like break down like as it is in the film. That's all.
That's actually really funny. It we couldn't get it to start that morning. That scene was supposed to be done while driving, and we just like, okay, well, while we're getting it ready, it's like we're just gonna pull this thing on the side of the road, and we're gonna take that scene from inside, bring it outside, and we're gonna actually like it's not that your car is about to break down; it's breaking down. It's already broke. So that was a very fun rewrite moment on set.
That is wonderful. Well, Matthew, it sounds like you had a great experience making the Dirty South, especially in your hometown, which is very rare for a lot of people. But it's a delightful film, and hopefully, Matthew, we get to do this again.
Thank you, man. I hope so.